But Kayode gave us some piece of news while we were off, trying to reconnect to him, that former Red Devil striker, that was what we used to call our national team in the 60s, Albert Onyeuna, one of the top scorers for the team, has passed on. Kayode has just given us that bit of breaking news. Albert Onyeuna, for those not in this generation, surely won't know anything about that, but I'm sure Charles will have a few things. You will surely have read about him somewhere.
Of course,
but the sad news is that Albert Onyeuna has passed on. And that's the news coming out now.
A lot of our sports legends have passed on of recent. I mean,
somebody who played in the 60s. You should be getting close to...
yes, of course. I mean, and many of them have unfortunately been forgotten. It was actually a thing of joy for me when 6 years ago I ran into the Black Cat Inua Rigogo, who used to man the post for them. Of course, I'd read about him too. I never saw him play actively. But then, you know, I walked up to him, spoke with him, and actually he was actually delighted that someone far down the line would actually recognize him for what he used to be. Well, glad to know that he's around and still very, very much into active coaching. But then, well, Papa Albert
has
gone.
Passed on. All right, that's it. Okay, let's quickly get you some results. Now, let's start with the CAF Confederation Cup. It wasn't a very good weekend for Nigeria. Over the weekend, when we talk about the CAF Confederation Cup, we have only one team anyway left because the other teams crashed out a long time ago. The teams in the CAF Champions League crashed out a long time ago, and it looks like a mountain to climb for Bayelsa United. And those are the results, starting, of course, with the result from Cote d'Ivoire. Sewe Sports of Cote d'Ivoire beat Bayelsa United 2-0, and the second goal came just about the time the referee was about to blow the final whistle. Bayelsa have their work cut out. In a week's time, they have to come back and try to get 3 unreplied goals against this Ivorian team. That's a tall order.
So it's not impossible, a tall order, but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
On a good day, they could come up with 3 goals, but then they should also guard against conceding any
for the away goals. All right, let me run to the other results. El Hali 1-0 over Difa Jadida of Morocco. AC Leopards beat the Ghanaian side Medeama 2-0. Kaizer Chiefs of South Africa lost at home 1-2 to ASEC Mimosas of Cote d'Ivoire. So it was a good weekend for the Ivorians. A team winning away from home and a team winning convincingly at home. Cotton Sport of Cameroon struggled to a 2-1 win over Petro Atletico de Luanda of Angola. And then Oroya of Guinea and Etoile du Sahel of Tunisia settled out for a goalless draw. The last game of the weekend in the CAF Confederation Cup playoff was between Nkana Red Devils and CA Bizetin. Remember, CA Bizetin were the conquerors of Warri Wolves. The game ended 0-0 in Zambia. So these are the results. Second leg games come up in a week. Bizetin, that's the result on your screen, getting a draw away from home. So for Bayelsa, what can we say? We can only wish that they come home to Sapele in a week's time and, as Charles said, cancel the 2 goals, put more on top, and qualify.
Worst case scenario, we're expecting that they should be able to cancel out 2 goals, even if they're not exactly.
And go to penalties and probably win it.
Hopefully, they should be able to sharpen their spot kick skills as well.
Just do it. Qualify. That's what we hope for.
That's what we need.
All right, let's come quickly now and take a look at the Glo Premier League results. Matches played over the weekend and see what the results are like. For those of you who are lovers of the Nigerian game, there was an away win. You will see it shortly. But let me start with this one. Lobi Stars 1-0 over Nembe. Penalty goal by Lobi. Nembe officials complaining that the penalty was extra soft. But what can you say? We didn't see it. But then issues around officiating, commonplace these days.
It's become a very sensitive issue.
Very, very
Lots
sensitive
of coaches have been complaining about the standard of officiating. But
Lobi
then
winning that
penalty.
one. Yeah, 1-0. Abia Warriors as well, 1-0 over Sunshine, I think, in that one as well. Atland of Owerri really struggling for their life this season. Yet to win a game in 7 matches this season. Yet to taste victory. And they got a draw at home to El Kaneme Warriors of Maiduguri. Gombe United also at the Pantami Stadium in Gombe played out a 1-1 draw with Dolphins of Port Harcourt. Dolphins drew at home to Giwa midweek, went away and got a draw. That's what we want to see. You can draw and get a win anywhere. That's what we want to see. And then Crown 1-0 over Kaduna United. That game was played in Ibadan on Sunday. Yesterday, we had 2 newly promoted teams playing in Jalingo, and it was Giwa that traveled away from home and got all 3 points. and a away win for Giwa FC. Fantastic result for a team
so
that suspended their coach.
That will qualify as the team of the week.
Surely, the result of the week is Giwa. They went to Dolphins, got a draw midweek, and traveled again to get a win away from home. Fantastic result. Kudos to Giwa FC for that. And then Aqua United beat Kano Pillars 1-0. It was in Uyo. Namso Edo with his 4th goal of the season. We will try to get the footages from that game tomorrow on Sports Tonight. And then you had Warri Wolves 1-0 over Rangers.
Courtesy of another penalty kick.
Bola on Salami. We'll get you that one before we'll wrap up the show tonight. We'll bring you highlights of that game. Well, let's step down. National League.
Yeah, I mean, I just observed that no club, the ones who won, the ones who drew, or the ones who lost, well, no club was able to score more than one goal. So what's happening to our strikers in the domestic league?
Our defenders are doing something.
Or the goalkeepers are extremely fantastic. But then, I mean,
1-0,
it is their job to stop the shots from going in.
But I agree with you. That's a good observation. We should get more goals.
Absolutely. I mean,
get more goals.
Otherwise, all the time, we'll have to keep resorting to the strikers who play in the foreign leagues.
And that's Bola Salami with the penalty goal. For Warri Wolves.
That also happened to be
4 goals this season as well.
So far, so good. Bola Salami, the bad boy of Nigerian football. Yeah.
Balotelli of Nigeria.
Balotelli of Nigeria. Well,
it looks like he's finding a new lease of life. But it's very good.
Well, unfortunately, he's out to injury. After taking this spot kick, not long after this, he had to be substituted because he caught an injury in this one. Well, I guess that's the pain on his face. And so he limped out a few minutes after scoring this goal, and he'll be out for, well, hopefully for his club, not too long.
That's it. So that's Bola Salami, and it was one of the shining lights for Nigeria at the CHAN in South Africa earlier this year. Let's step down very quickly and take a look at the National League and see the results from games played over the weekend. The National League is also one league where you find those names. We'll come to it, but let me run through this result first of all. Like Mighty Jets. We had FRSC 5-2, 7-goal thriller over Prison.
The old names then
Jigawa,
down a bit.
Jigawa Golden Stars 1-0 over Mighty Jets. That's one. And then Tornadoes of Mina 2-0 over
familiar
DSS.
names indeed.
Very familiar names. Wicked Tourists of Bauchi 2-0 over Kogi United. These are some results from Division 8. We had Adamawa 1-0 over Sokoto United. Plateau United 1-0 over Kwara United. Kwara United complaining to high heavens about the quality of officiating. And then you had Chip 1-0 over Supreme Court. In Division B, Insurance of Benin, Charles, 2-0 over Unisem. Unisem used to be called Calabar Rovers in those days. Habia Comets 2-1 over ABS. 3SC of Ibadan 2-0 over Ekiti United. Go round. Beat Remo Stars 1-0. That was on Friday. And then the Lagos Derby at the Agege Stadium, MFM and First Bank ended it 1-1. It was an exciting game of football. Prime beat Aqua Starlet 1-0. Gateway beat Gabros 2-1. And Stationary Stores,
the Flaming Flamingos, are back.
They played that game early this morning because it was raining hippos and elephants yesterday. No game could be played, and they beat COD United by 1-0. Let's talk about the women before we wrap up the show tonight. Talk about the girls, the Nigeria Women Premier League, and tell you that it was Rivers Angels 1-0 over Bayelsa Queens, Oshun Babes 1-0 over Edo Queens, Nasarawa Amazons 1-0 over Confluence Queens, Sunshine Queens 2-0 over Taraba Queens, Pelican Stars 3-1 over Ibom Angels, Adamawa Queens walked over Delta Queens. They failed to travel to Adamawa. They said security reasons.
Well, of course, at least we've seen more goals scored in the women's leagues. I think they should be encouraged. They've been winning laurels at the international stage for Nigeria as well. So, I mean, the female league should be encouraged. At least we've seen more goals, a lot more goals.
Charles, before we wrap up the show, tomorrow you have a Champions League games. A game tomorrow, a game on Wednesday. Atletico Madrid against Chelsea. Chelsea will be missing Samuel Eto'o
and, of course, Eden Hazard, both out to injury.
Yeah.
But, of course...
those are big key players missing for Chelsea.
Well, it's a familiar foe, not for Chelsea, but probably for Chelsea manager Jose Mourinho. Just last season, he stacked up against Atletico when he was in the dugout for Real Madrid.
He lost the Copa del Rey to Atletico. Now he has to take his pound of flesh.
Absolutely. And I'll be looking forward to that.
And, of course, Real Madrid against Bayern will be
definitely
on Wednesday.
That will definitely be a cracker, a very big one indeed. Real Madrid versus... Bayern Munich. We'll be looking forward to that.
Charles, thank you for appearing on Sports Tonight as our special guest this Monday. Easter
Thank you very
Monday.
much, Joey.
I hope it won't be another Easter Monday before we see you again on the show.
Well, it's neither here nor there. But
well, thank you, Charles.
good to see you again.
Thank you. All right, that's how we have to wrap it up on Sports Tonight. We'll come back tomorrow with more, a better and a bigger package for you. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of the night. Bye-bye now.
Attention these days, though. Ozil's pass, Cazorla, and a finish from Ramsey. Welcome back to the Barclays Premier League.
He starts it, Ramsey, and then just keeps going in the end. Well, it's fantastic football. Now, this is what Arsenal are all about. I just hadn't seen that coming, that move. They didn't look like they were going to produce that.
Arteta retreated, didn't foul him, and Ozil moves it quickly on for Giroud. And Giroud has picked out Ramsey, Podolski, 2-0 Arsenal.
Now, that's what you call a classic counter-attack. And I totally agree with the referee's decision. I think he gets this right. Jelavic, I think, is maybe looking for contact, and it wasn't there, and he went over.
And Arsenal's speed of break after that was, again, typical of what they do best.